Today, we are actually going to dive into something very deep, which usually people do not talk about because there's not a lot of awareness or education about it. But it's around the topic of how your parents' marriage actually affects your dating life and how you show up in your relationship as well. And you might be thinking, like, how does your parents' marriage or their relationship with each other actually affect the way you date? Well, there's a lot of connection to how they have a relationship with each other and how that shows up in your relationship dynamics as well. So, if you're new here, I'm Vesh and I'm a men's relationship coach, and I help men heal with their attachment issues, wounded masculinity, and even traumas for them to have deeper, meaningful connection and relationships with women. Now, I also have a community which is known as the Conscious Men's Circle. Currently, I'm not taking people in and it's on a hold because I'm restructuring the complete community altogether so that I can give more added value, courses, and even give you guys the opportunity to actually have live group calls with me. So, until I make this change, please be patient. So, in today's episode specifically, I'm also going to pull up some research papers as well, which actually shows the evidence of how your parents' relationship can directly have an impact on the way you show up in relationships as well. So, the first thing we need to understand is our parents' relationship actually impacts the way we view relationships altogether. Now, think of it this way: when you are growing up, the closest people to you are your parents. Now, your parents are supposed to model how love and relationship looks like to you. But if there is no love between them, or if they're constantly fighting, or if you have even grown up with a single parent as well, you don't exactly know what a healthy relationship looks like because you have no example set in front of you. So even if you are growing up in a household where there's a lot of love between your parents, you are exposed to what a secure relationship looks like, where two individuals who are healthy, who have worked on themselves, probably come together, who are mature enough to communicate in mature ways, have boundaries, and you see the love evolving between them. But the flip side of this is growing up in a household where there is constant conflicts happening between your parents, where they are, belittling each other, hurting each other. There's a lot of chaotic things happening even in the household. And when you grow up as a child looking at it, that becomes your perception of how relationships are supposed to be. Now, from the age of 0 to 7, your subconscious brain is like wide open for reprogramming. The logical part of your brain hasn't developed then. So, whatever you are listening to, whatever you're hearing in this age group specifically gets absorbed into your subconscious brain altogether. And that becomes the model of the relationship in your subconscious mind. So even when you grow up, these childhood patterns, these childhood programs are strong within you. So when you start dating, when you show up in relationship, because the way you view relationships and love is how you correlate with your parents' relationship unconsciously, you start showing the same patterns even in your relationship as well. And there was a research that was done by the Love Lab, which is by Dr. John Gottman, where he found out, people who genuinely have like a healthy communication skill or healthy conflict resolution skills have specifically grown up in households where they have seen their parents managing conflicts in a healthy way, and there was no attacking, contempt, resentment between their parents as well. So, in a way, these kids have been exposed to what a secure relationship looks like. So, growing up, it's easy for them to communicate their needs and even set boundaries in a relationship as well. So, if you find yourself often in a relationship where you feel like you're becoming overly anxious, it could be possible that you are actually mimicking one of your parents' reaction when there's a conflict happening. Or even if you're an avoidant person, where when let's say there's conflict, you tend to shut down and you do not tend to engage and you completely dissociate in this relationship, you might actually even be mimicking one of your parent who reacts in a similar way when they are having conflicts as well. Now, the second thing is the impact of divorces or even its impact on kids. Now, specifically in Asian households, divorce is not a common thing. So, kids usually live in a house where, the parents are not getting divorced, but they're constantly fighting with each other, and there's no presence of love between the parents. And there's also research that basically shows that people whose parents are under such stressful marriages or who have gone through divorce usually approach dating with a tinge of skepticism. And there was specifically a study that was done in the Journal of Marriage and Family where they actually found out that, kids who grow up in households like these, where there's so much chaos or divorce undergoing, their ability to actually trust the other person in the relationship is quite less. These are also the people who end up showing a lot of anxiety, even in the relationship as well, and they kind of do not trust the person. So let's say if you have even witnessed one of your parent being disloyal to your other parent, or if you witness any kind of emotional betrayal happening in the family, that actually sends you a subconscious message that you cannot trust the other person in the relationship. So even in your adult relationship, you end up showing with a tinge of skepticism, and you generally lack trust for that other person as well. And you also form a subconscious program inside your brain that, relationships and marriages can actually come to an end. So you generally always live in that fear that, okay, maybe this relationship can end one fine day. And this completely makes sense because as a child, you would have deeply gotten affected by the state of your parents' marriage as well. The third thing is the imprinting effect. Now, this happens when we are a child, we actually end up copying our parents' behavior, and this happens at a very unconscious level. So how your parents are behaving, how your parents are reacting to each other, that becomes our subconscious programming, and that is how we unconsciously show up in relationship. Whereas sometimes you might have even thought that, okay, these are things I hated about my parents, but these are exactly the things that I am doing as an adult as well, because that's the only model of relationship you've been exposed to. You don't know any other way, you don't know any other way of exposing love, or you don't know any other way of, managing conflicts, because you have constantly been exposed to unhealthy or toxic dynamics even in your household as well. Whereas if you grew up in a house where there was harmony, there was peace, then that would be the way you would show up even in your relationship as well. Now, this imprinting effect is actually much more powerful in your childhood years, especially from the age of 0 to 7. As I said, your subconscious brain has not been completely developed at this point. So if you've never seen your parents actually showing affection towards each other, or showing that kind of love, or having a good life with each other, you would find it also hard in your relationship to show love towards the other person, because you don't have that kind of program existing in your brain. You don't even know what it is to actually engage in that kind of a relationship dynamic altogether. The fourth thing is attachment styles and the impact of your parents' relationship on your attachment style. So, attachment style is basically how we approach intimacy and closeness in a relationship. So, let's say if you're growing up in a household where there's a lot of chaotic things happening, or if your parents even got separated. Now, the thing in this specific scenario is they are struggling with their own things, but you as a child probably would have gotten caught up in between their chaos. So, a lot of times you would not have healthy emotional outlets for you to express your emotional needs to your parents. And sometimes, as kids, we also tend to internalize the feeling very unconsciously that the reason my parents are fighting is probably because of me. And this happens at a very subtle level when you're a child, and these then become your unconscious programming. So, let's say if you are someone who felt abandoned in these kind of situations, you can either develop an anxious attachment, you can either develop an avoidant attachment, you can even develop a disorganized attachment, which is a combination of both anxious and avoidant attachment. So, if your parents were emotionally available towards you and if they showed you consistent care and affection, then you will grow up with secure attachment style. And this is how you end up showing in a secure way in your adult relationship. But let's say if that care was inconsistent when you were growing up, you were not shown affection as a child when you were growing up, that's when you develop insecure attachment styles, like the anxious attachment style or the avoidant attachment style. Now, anxious attachment style is where you have an abandonment wound and you're constantly living in the fear of someone would end up leaving you. And this is a childhood programming again that's formed because you did not get consistent care from your caregivers as well, from your parents as well. On the other side, abandonment issues can also manifest in the form of having an avoidant attachment style as well, where you excessively give focus on being independent. You feel that you cannot rely or depend on anyone else because that person will end up leaving. And this is also a program that you formed in your childhood because you probably never had anyone to actually rely on growing up, which is why you ended up becoming extra hyper independent. And now you have built so many walls around yourself that it's hard for you to let anyone close to you. Now, these attachment styles, these are not set in stones. It's completely possible to break them and completely possible to get over them if you actually put in the effort and if you actually work on healing your traumas as well. Now, if you want to work with me when it comes to healing your traumas, or if you want to do consultations with me, you can reach out to me through the Instagram link that I have mentioned in the description box below. Now, the fifth thing that I want to talk about is how you can break this cycle specifically. So, actually sit down and identify and journal or even think about, introspect on how exactly your parents' relationship was with each other. You can make two sections where you can write how your mother showed up in the marriage and how your father showed up in the marriage. How did they resolve conflicts with each other? What are the patterns that they both showed which actually triggered the whole situation altogether and even made it worse? And then you need to put yourself in a place and you need to write down your patterns, the way you show up in a relationship, analyze yourself and see who does it closely resemble to. Because once you find that clarity, okay, my behaviors are not stemming from my internal self, but it's actually influenced by other people, that is when you kind of take your power back and you can consciously work on rewiring these unconscious patterns that you have built within you since your childhood. So it's not impossible to actually break these patterns, and you can completely become secure within yourself. And it's completely possible for you to do the inner work, become more confident, become more secure in your own skin, develop a secure attachment, and show up in a healthy way in front of the woman who you want to even attract in your life. And this can positively even impact your dating life as well as your relationships as well. Just remember one thing, that you are not doomed by your parents' mistake. Because if they have a bad relationship with each other, that does not in any way mean that you will have the same kind of relationships. But of course, it does mean that you might have to work consciously little hard on breaking the patterns that you have built within yourself, which is actually probably keeping you away from attracting a healthy relationship in your life. Relationships are all about growth and showing up as the best version of yourself. A relationship ideally should not be where two broken people are getting attracted to each other. But if you do not work on your inner traumas, your abandonment wounds, your attachment issues, you will end up attracting a partner unconsciously who will reaffirm these wounds back to you, and you will unconsciously end up creating the same dynamic in your relationship that was there in your parents' relationship. So, what would happen is you might start exhibiting characteristics or patterns from your parents' relationship, whereas the other person in front of you, in this case, the woman in front of you, might actually end up showing different other patterns that she has learned probably from her parents' relationship as well. This is why a relationship requires two conscious people to come together who are willing to do the work to make it work. So, I hope this episode was quite insightful for you guys to understand some of your inherent patterns and where that originates from. And I hope you are able to reflect and work on these patterns. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.